Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. What I have here is the 2025 BYD Seal 5 DMI. This could change the sedan market forever. Kind of like the Sea Lion 6 DMI but as a sedan version. These are two separate cars. However, at the same time, there's a lot of similarities with both vehicles. And being a sedan, you get a more aggressive grille with LED lights all around. These are running on 215, 55, 17-inch wheels and they're really thick, and I cannot wait on how this drives later on. You get a ground clearance of 160 millimeters, which is just 10 more than my former daily car. So already a lot of plus points with this Seal 5 DMI. Pairing this all-new BYD Seal 5 DMA. So first, you have a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with 106 horsepower, mated to an 18.32 kilowatt-hour battery. So combined, you have 197 horsepower and 325 Newton meters of torque in a sedan. So I expect this to drive really well. And of course, up against with other hybrid sedans in this segment, I want to see now how this stacks up with the rest of the competition. And two, this transmission is an eCVT. It's not the usual direct hybrid transmission. Remember, here in the Philippines, this one is called a Seal 5 DMI. So in other markets, it's called the Destroyer 05. More on the naming later on. Now, I don't usually talk about closing the hoods, but this one, I will make an exception because it sounds really good. Now here, once again at the side and with the rear of the C5 DMA, as you can see on camera, it took me a while to reach the end. It's a lot longer than I expected, but of course it makes up for it with the space in the cabin. More on that again later on, and you get a full functioning LED light bar, which some of the sedans in gel don't even have. And once you pop up the hood, so it's kind of like a semi-automatic kind of tailgate. So the total space here is 450 liters, which is on par with the competition, even whether it's non-hybrid or a hybrid vehicle. So underneath, I don't see a spare tire. You get some of your batteries here too at the rear. Sadly, I don't see any spare tire here whatsoever. Now here in the interior of this all-new Seal 5 DMI, here in the door card, again, like with all BYDs, you have a lot of nice materials around, squeegee materials. Well, this one is plastic, but I'm willing to forgive it because it integrates BYD's design language. And again, been a while since I've done this. That sounds really solid for a sedan. I'm impressed. So let's just turn on all of these stuff here. So you get, of course, your nice animations. You get BYD signature rotating screen. This one's a 10-inch infotainment system, of course, with your usual navigations, Apple CarPlay, and the Android Auto. Here's for your top-down 360-degree view camera. So these are all of your controls and safety bits of this all-new Seal 5. Now, what caught my interest? So you get a steering mode and a brake assist mode. There are only two modes, but of course, you all know me. I'll try out the sport mode later on once we get to dive this, and more of your regen braking, your ADAS functions, so on and so forth. Again, it's pretty standard like what you get in all of the BYDs. And here you have a very small instrument cluster which displays all of your important information, like for your battery and for your fuel range, along to with the total overall range itself. The steering wheel, yeah, pretty cool, and again feels like with every other sedan. You get your adaptive cruise control buttons on the left side and phone connectivity and instrument cluster adjustment buttons on the right side. And very good news, it is tilt and telescopic. And for once in a sedan, the dashboard sits really low, so you won't have any problems with visibility. I mean, yes, with all of the crossover craziness nowadays, for once you're having a commanding driving position. And here on the left side, I don't see this too in some other vehicles nowadays too. You get an extra compartment, again, like with my former daily car. And way further down the infotainment system, you get two air conditioning vents, a wireless charging pad, two cup holders, and here in the center itself, you get an array of your buttons, rotary shifter for your air conditioning controls, EV, HEV mode, and for once, I saw this one, press this snowfield grit grass mode, which I think will be handy for me if ever I will buy this in the future, and of course, your driving modes. So there are three modes, eco, normal, and sport mode. And I made the discovery too, once you toggle to sport mode. I first discovered this in the BYD Seal off camera. Flick it to sport mode, you get a red line here in the infotainment system. It's only present once you turn on and off sport mode, which I think gives it a little bit more flair if you're gonna drive this vehicle on the twisties. Glove box, okay, pretty good too. There's an LED light, and of course, the big highlight of this vehicle are the seats. There's sport bucket types like what you get surprisingly in the Seal on the sporty side of things, but still very much comfortable. And you get electronic adjustments, but sadly for this one, it's all manually adjusted. On top of the center console box, you get an NFC card placement along to on top of the side mirrors itself. And center console box is pretty small, it's literally the size of my hand either way. And exclusive for this premium top of the line model, you get a sunroof. How about that? So the controls are above here along with your LED lights, sunglasses holder, visor. You get a vanity mirror only, but at least it makes up for the lights here. Don't extend, but the quality itself is pretty good. And now here at the rear of this Seal 5 DMI, here in the door card, pretty much the same like the ones in front, the quality and the studs itself. And this is already my driving position. I am 5'4" by the way. That's really good. Even the headroom is what impressed me the most, because usually sedans, of course, have this a big curve on the roof itself. But BYD have accommodated all types of passenger, even if you're 6 foot. I assume if this tall, they can still fit here in the back pretty much easily. And the seats again are a big highlight. Look at the color scheme in this, it's amazing. And behind both front seats, you get two map pockets, and you have a central armrest here too with two cup holders. Lights above here, as you can see, and here in the middle, you get two air conditioning vents, cubby spaces, and two Type A USB ports. And if I sit here in the middle, okay, it's just a this in the middle is a bit softer for the cushions, weirdly than either side of the seat, but of course the back's just a tad stiffer because again of the central armrest, but still very soft nevertheless. And the transmission tunnel is just that tall, and it's wide enough anyway, so you can put your feet wherever you want, fitting at least 3 to 5 people if needed only here at the rear. It will just do the job. And now here first dive with this BYD Seal 5 DMI, and not to my surprise, we are diving immediately on batteries alone and more snippets here in the instrument cluster itself. So there's a lot of modes and other displays you can do, and surprisingly you have a stopwatch available with this vehicle. So a lot more tempting now to buy this vehicle, because of course, if you know me, I want to do an autocross video with this immediately. Anyway, kidding aside, I've driven the Sea Lion 6 quite a lot now, and there's a lot of similarities with this vehicle. So running here on the city alone, we're just pure EV mode. And not to my surprise, the fuel economy reading is astounding. I mean, 4.2 liters per 100 kilometers if you're using the fuel. And we're just here, just eco mode, and just running on pure electricity. And I'm ready up to 50 kilometers per hour. Right, this is just still pure EV mode. And let's try now what happens if you put it to sport mode. Oh wow. Okay. And like with the Sea Lion 6, not to my surprise, even though you are in sport mode, I was still in EV mode, and but the engine just kicked in around 60, 70 kilometers per hour. And yes, that's how fast this vehicle is. Let's just calm down again, and let's try now normal mode. Judging with all of the driving modes, it will just depend on the response time of the throttle input itself. The steering assist mode, now we are in sport mode. So it's still light in general, but again, if this is going to be your first car and your first BYD, it's still pretty much easy to dive. Oh yeah, this is too light now for me. I cannot feel anything. So of course, let's just leave it in sport mode. And brake assist mode, comfortable if I let off. Actually, nothing much is happening. And then let's try now sport mode. Oh yeah, what I like too with this BYD Seal 5, we're going over the infamous humps here in BGC. Yeah, went up to them with ease. Yeah, 160 millimeters. Yeah, did the job really, really well. So like with its bigger brother, the Sea Lion 6, if you're just here in heavy city traffic and your battery is starting to deplete already, you can charge it using the engine, but you have to waste a little bit of fuel. And now, here, let's try sport mode. Ooh, a bit of tire squill over there. Yep, like with every other hybrid that I've tried out, the engine just kicked in once I reached over 60 kilometers per hour. And this is surprisingly a lot more peppier than the Sea Lion 6, even though this is down on power and torque. But of course, being a sedan, it's much lighter. And I would say already the handling, even though we're just driving around here in BGC, it's much more planted and more fun to drive. And of course, it's still a sedan. And the regen braking, let's try high mode with this regen braking. Okay, you can feel it, but it's not like how do I compare this with other vehicles? Like an electric vehicle, a pure one that has a level 3 state of regen braking. This is more like of a level 2. My feet's off the throttle for demonstration purposes only, and look, we are slowing down. Then if you just leave it to standard, nothing much again is happening. But for once, I will leave it in high, and we're just driving here in the city. And now if you want to charge this vehicle itself, it's very much similar like with that of the Sea Lion 6. I just discovered now too, you have a corner camera system for this Seal 5. Your charging port is on the right side. It's exclusive for an AC slow charger only. Perfect for daily commutes if you're just want to go around the mall and all that. So it will take around, if you're at 30% to full charge, if not mistaken, judging only with the Sea Lion 6 owners club. Shout out to all of you. It will take around 2 hours. But I think that's already enough of time if you're going around the groceries and if you're carting in the mall, so on and so forth. And yeah, I can see why this is going to be a very, very big hit. And now for the cost of all of this one stands at 1,198,000 pesos. Now, this starts at 948,000 pesos with the dynamic model. Separate video coming right up. There's no question, you should buy this immediately. It's got everything: adaptive cruise control. It's a full-on hybrid, more on the EV side of things for obvious reasons. You get a sunroof, the tech, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. There is literally no better sedan on the market today. I'd like to thank everyone here at BYD Philippines and to Sir Romano of BYD BGC for making this test drive review possible. So one more time. It wants to skid its tires easily. That's something I did not find in the Sea Lion 6, of course, because it's a bit heavier. Now, with the price point alone, and the original name of this car is actually BYD Destroyer. So, with the price point alone, I understand now why this will be the destroyer of worlds. And with that hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more BYD reviews. Bye-bye.